7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
All power to the people. It's the Bruh Listen Podcast, the black podcast focusing on social political issues and how they affect our community. With your hosts, Cedric Owens, Brittany Brown, and Anthony Rogers. Bruh Listen. Bruh Nation, what's good? Back at it again. Oh, man. So we were just having a hood argument. Well, not a hood argument, a hood discussion. So here's something that I just thought about while we was doing that. How do you reference hood shit? Like we need like historical bookkeepers. This is one thing I hate about African Americans. Let me tell you what I hate about African Americans. And not in a negative tone, just in a damn, I wish this wasn't how we were set up as a culture for thousands of years. African American history has always been an oral history. Right. We always tell each other the stories or whatever because we good storytellers and we good liars and shit like that. However, like that is actually perilous and against like the positivity of actual facts. So when we was just talking about the chick, we couldn't remember her name or whatever. It really was a difficult look on Google to find out because historically we don't like write it down.
And because it's hard to find nigga history because everything is whitewashed.
But the reason why
I grew up thinking Christopher Columbus was the greatest cracker to sail the sea.
George Washington too. But the reason why it's so easy to whitewash African American history is because African American history is oral. So when somebody be like, oh, the history books or whatever, like, okay, y'all can shit on history books all you want, but it's written documentation that you can go check. Yeah. That show history books. It's just so much African history that's oral, especially West African history. That's why y'all niggas think y'all Egyptian. Because Egyptians actually wrote their shit down. They was too close to Babylon. Babylonians and Sumerians, they started writing with cuneiform. Yeah. So they been writing. So like Egyptians actually wrote their shit. That's Sanscripts and scribes and stuff like that. Right. But West Africans didn't write. They story told. Like Ashanti tribe history is told orally, or like the Dogons.
Well, they never thought that they'll be wiped out,
right? Or
which is a fault of them, motherfuckers. Well, you at risk.
I was looking at
white people know that. White people know that we could lose everything. Let me write this shit down.
I was looking at something day before yesterday, and I made a post about it today about how all the things that we do. So you ain't gonna like some of these words, but just hear me out. Misogyny, homophobia, capitalism, wait. Christianity, all of that shit is European.
No, I don't like how you just put that on me.
I know I ain't gonna like none of the words. Every time I say misogyny, you get triggered like the little Arthur meme.
Well, I just don't think misogyny is valid or real. I mean, it's a real thing, but I think that it's natural stuff in our DNA that compels us to be a certain way.
You know what? So
like animals are a certain way. Like every animal kingdom, the male species is a certain way, whether it flip flop or not or whatever. The male species is one way and the female species is one way. They're never exactly the same. So I don't know how much misogyny
we put niggas in space. So once humans start shooting niggas to other planets, we have to look at humans on a different level. I'm not saying
that's a caveat of your consciousness.
Yes, but I'm with that caveat. We have to add it in. We can't ignore it. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying we're not creatures of nature and we don't have natural things or like the expression your lizard brain and all that other shit. I get all that. I agree to that. However, there's literally niggas in space. Like there's literally niggas in space.
What is misogyny? The break. What do you mean?
Misogyny is like saying to a woman can't do that when they're capable. I'm not saying, a woman can't be as strong as me by lifting or whatever. That's happenstance because some women are bigger than other men. That's really a stupid argument. I get what you're saying.
Cultural misogyny.
But cultural misogyny, like when you say, a woman can't be president, that's misogyny. That's misogynistic as fuck. It really is. But what I was saying,
I agree with that.
What I was saying when I was looking it up is like, these are European values. They're derivatives of European values.
I don't agree with you on the homophobia thing.
The homophobia thing.
Only reason I don't agree with you on that is because everybody done look this up or whatever, and the best answer that I got about this shit about gay niggas before European intervention, the best answer that I got that made me think was, but it really didn't, but it was like, because it was so normal, they never wrote about it. Right. They never said about it. But that's like saying, oh, it's a God. Like, it's no proof. There's no proof to that.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Homophobia itself is defined as the fear of homosexuality or the spread of homosexuality, the fear of the spread of homosexuality. Okay, so when I say homophobia isn't African, what I mean by that is what homophobia is now.
I take it back. You're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, no, only reason I say you're right is because I don't think that original Africans, it was a homophobe. It was gay niggas.
I think it was, but here's
so
what
they
I
didn't
say.
care.
Here's what, I think it was they had a libertarian stance on it. Is a good way to look at it.
I don't think niggas was fucking.
To put it in the.
They're probably, what you doing?
Nah, they was.
You put your dick well.
But wait, listen. Oh my god.
What the fuck are you doing?
Oh my god. No, that's.
I'm trying to envision. African.
You know what? We about to get on them Africans too in a minute, because that's a modern African. Modern Africans are not Africans. And I'm gonna back that up. Modern Africans are not Africans. However, back with the homophobia thing, real quick.
Go ahead, don't do that.
What I'm saying is this though, like with homophobia, bro, like the homophobic stance or fear or whatever you want to call it, of where it's like, oh, if we let the gays get married, then this gonna happen and that gonna happen, or to the extent of homo abuse, where it's like homosexual abuse, where you go like the kid that got drugged behind the car. You know, homosexual people have been killed. Trans people have been killed. I think in Africa and in Asia, because trans people are readily accepted in Asia, I think people just be like, even if they thought it was weird, I'm not arguing on if they thought it was weird or not. I'm just arguing on the phobic part of it. Like, the thing it's going to disrupt our culture. I don't think they gave a shit.
I don't know if Asians accept the gay. I think I think it was more like how the Arabic motherfucker do it. Is like, oh, if you gay, but they what's the place? Indonesia. Or whatever, they're not liberal with faggots.
But Indonesia is a bad example though, because they're Muslim.
Okay, well, a lot of these places is, but what they say is, oh, but if you turn trans, then you're okay,
right? Because they be
like, oh, if you're gonna be gay, then you got to be a bitch.
This was funny about religion, and this was trash about religion, and this is why I lump in Christianity with that European shit. Religion, I'm not going to say is European. However, Christianity and Islam isn't European, but you can lump it right in there with it or whatever. The religion aspect of it is so fucked up, because look, so you take, for example, voodoo or whatever, or voodoo.
That's what I was getting into when I said fuck Jesus.
Or whatever, right? So if you take voodoo, a lot of that shit have Jesus and religious undertones in it, because they just mix in their shit with it. The Holy Ghost or whatever. No white person at a white church catch the Holy Ghost.
No.
That's a black thing, but that comes from voodoo, because in voodoo they believe spirits can jump in and out of bodies. So like what happens with these cultures is, like, for example, what Tank was just saying with Indonesia. So in Indonesia, like, Islam is the main religion. So they abide by all the Islamic stuff, which is homosexuality. But then they counteract that with their original culture pre-Islamic takeover was accepting of trans people.
You could be trans all you want. Right. You want to be trans, move over there. They love you.
In Thailand. Thailand's the same way. All that stuff the same way. What they're doing is, or in Mexico, like De Muertos, the Day of the Dead or whatever. That's a Aztec Mayan thing.
You know was specifically not African or whatever that none of the white people or the Arab people never talk about is them smashing little boys.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But you want to know something funny?
That's not. I don't know. The African, maybe little girl.
I think that,
but not little boys.
African. Well, again, stories told orally, and if something that you want to exclude from your history, you could just change it.
You know, even the Egyptian shit, they never had shit with just little boys. Like, it's prominent in Greek and Roman shit. Just the And now in the Arab shit, they have boys.
I don't think.
Why so?
Number one, I don't think it's ever been like a rampant thing. Like when they be like, oh, they were messing with little boys in ancient Greece and ancient Rome. I agree with that. However, they messing with little boys here.
Well, no, when I say that, I mean like it was accepted or whatever that in Greece.
Yeah, it might have been accepted. Yeah.
It wasn't like if you had a little boy with you and you were banging him, it wasn't weird.
This goes back into what we was talking about kind of putting context into things. People, the average age of life in Rome was like 50. Okay, the life expectancy. The average age in Greece, because remember, ancient Greece is predating ancient Rome. The average age in Greece was like 41. Yeah. So when you look at it like that, it's like, okay.
It was a philosophy behind it. Though.
Well, I'm just saying,
Socrates and Plato, all these, it was like, it wasn't just the age. It was like I'm gonna fuck it up because I gotta read some more.
When you look at it like
weird
motherfuckers, if you can say, oh, they was messing with little girls, they was marrying little 10-year-olds, little 11 years old, but they was dying when they was 41.
I don't care about the little girls.
So that's my same thing. Like if you're homosexual and you like men, then
that's what I'm saying. It was different,
but wait, it just feel different to you because your modern cultural bias.
I know what I'm saying. Looking back at it, it wasn't even about just being homosexual. It was just something. It was like a cultural thing.
But they just accepted it.
I don't know
because if you read Greek mythology or Roman mythology or just Roman history and stuff like that, a lot of the women that's in those stories are 12 years old, 11 years old. Or if you look at Islam with Muhammad and he married an 8-year-old girl. But again, people was dying when they was 32. So it's like,
I don't know. You gotta go look at the philosophy of pedophilia.
I just think it's such a. I think it's such a.
That shit was weird.
I think it's such a hard historical precedent to find, and the reason why I say that, I think you can find it for sure.
But Plato had little boys.
I think you can find it for sure. But my thing is, how do we compare that? Because over time, like the philosophy of what's wrong and right and everything it changes. So like they accepted it and blah blah blah. And my thing is, if it was still accepted now, would it still be going on? Yeah, I think so. Just like I think right now, today in 2020, if slavery was made legal for whatever reason, we found a loophole in the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, and it made not just incarcerated slavery illegal, but it made actual human trafficking and bondage of African Americans legal. I would say 50 million to 60 million people would be down with it. And I know that like people be like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's such a da-da-da-da. Nah, no, it ain't. Because if you look at the MAGA people and the way they move with Trump, okay, and it's not just because I'm a fucking progressive socialist. This is because I'm analyzing a situation. You take a group of people that are supposed to be the most beholden. Cuz always say on here, one thing the crackers got right was the Constitution, right? You take a group of the people in America that was the most beholden to the Constitution, the conservatives, right? They cared about the Constitution and the rule of law more than anybody. They are literally throwing the rule of law out the window right now. Whatever the fuck Donald Trump say, it goes. They know this shit a coup. They know this shit. And I just want to say this about the coup thing, because for all my people that follow me on Twitter, like I said on Twitter, just because it's a bad coup and it's not going to work doesn't mean it's still not an attempted coup. It's still a coup. So they know the coup is happening. They don't give a shit. They know Trump didn't win and he's trying to literally steal the election by cheating. They don't give a shit. So if people, I'm in my mid-30s. Cuz in his mid-30s. We the same age. If you're listening to this and you're in your 20s, or if you listen to this and you're in your 40s or whatever, think to yourself how American politics have been over the last whatever of your life. You're literally watching people decide, I don't give a fuck about the Constitution, the politics, the laws, or whatever. I just want my person that I'm beholden to win. That's a cult. So when I
try not to get caught up in the time that we in, because every time whoever.
But that's my point. The time don't matter.
No, what I'm saying, everybody lifespan on this earth, everybody always think that the shit that happens during their lifespan, no matter how long it
It's
is
the
or
most
short it
important
is,
shit.
is some significant shit.
I agree with that, and I think that's
Everybody
bullshit.
think like
I don't think any life has any significance.
I
I
don't
just think
know.
you exist.
That's why I try to put in perspective the moment that I'm living in and this crazy motherfucker Trump or whatever and the shit that he's doing or whatever. And I just try to think about different.
But precedents do matter, though.
Other people's
Play.
Yeah, like who the motherfucker that had the Ku Klux Klan at the White House for a screening of
Woodrow
Birth
Wilson.
of a Nation.
Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah, shit like that. Or
By the way, Woodrow said it was an amazing movie.
I listened
Birth
to
of the Nation is about
a
KKK.
recording like from 1930 or 1930 of it's on YouTube of a Civil War veteran
Oh, it's beautiful.
or whatever, one of the last ones. And,
Yeah.
but you could hear the difference of the English language, just how it taught all that shit
all
so
different.
fucking interesting.
But
God
hear
damn
me
it.
out, and that's why history is the shit. I love history. But hear me out. Woodrow Wilson did have the KKK.
I'm not comparing that to Trump. or
No.
nothing, but,
What
you
I'm
know.
saying is this: Woodrow Wilson did have the KKK at the White House for a screening of A Birth of a Nation, and that just goes a line into my point that these motherfuckers are literally going to, and it's not. I don't even want to say crackers no more, because I'm changing it. It's the banana Republicans. Okay, like it's like they like y'all conservatives. Conservatives are so trash. And I'm saying that liberals ain't trash. Liberals, y'all trash too. Fuck y'all. Democrats trash or whatever. The only people that's worth the damn, in my opinion, are either communists or socialists. We can get in that another day. However, like conservatives are so fucking trash that they don't like. Bro, it don't matter if you're white or black. If you're a conservative at this point, because I know conservatives that's
What do you
jump
mean
ship.
when you say conservative?
Conservative being, I would say conservative in the terms of what it originally meant, which is limited government, blah, 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 blah. None of that.
Well, I know, but when you say
None of
conservative,
that is
like,
conservative anymore. I'm
what
talking
do
about
you-
MAGA people.
what-
That's the new conservatives or whatever, because that's what they call conservatives, the right or whatever. Check me out.
They coming out with, they got a new station. It ain't on TV.
Newsmax. Don't watch
What is
that
that?
shit.
Newsmax.
Motherfucker, that shit was so funny. Let me tell you now.
Who the motherfucker cried on Rush Limbaugh? Do they do a live on
Oh, you
Rush
seen that shit I
Limbaugh?
sent
Yeah,
you?
I watched you crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, the motherfucker crowd on Rush Limbaugh say he'll die for Trump. These the motherfuckers I'm talking about.
Hey, man, it's
Those
crazy
the
motherfuckers in the world.
Bro, if Trump came out, this is what I'm saying. I don't think, now mind you, it's 330 million people in America. 299 million of those people are adults, okay? And even though, 50 million people voted, even though 150 million or 160 million people voted or whatever, that does not mean that the other people don't give a fuck or whatever. So when you're talking about something on the level of social unrest, that's different than voting. A lot of people can't vote, won't vote, just don't give whatever. But when you're talking about social unrest, it's different. So what I'm saying right now is like if Trump came out and was like, fuck that, I'm the president, it would be 50 to 60 million people walking around this motherfucker believing Trump is the real deal president. That's crazy.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, or whatever, it's not. I don't think it's going to be nearly as much that's going to be like willing to do something about it, because I know Trump supporters. I work with some Trump supporters, and they talk. We talk about the shit all the
see,
time.
here
We
go
be
my
like, yeah,
thing.
Trump won.
Let's do the law.
Yeah,
of
Trump
averages.
won, but
Let's
they be
say,
like, but them, hold on, let me finish. They be like, yeah, Trump. Well, yeah, Trump did this or whatever. But they be like, but the shit is over or whatever. You risking the democracy of America, the legitimacy of our democracy by what you're doing or whatever.
ooh, I'm glad you said that. Well, two things. Number one,
It's important to
well,
have a
when I get to law
legitimate.
average-
It's important to have a legitimate election,
a free and fair election.
And, you know, and even though it's a lot of crackers that support Trump and they say it's fraud, they still it's a lot of them that's even though they're Republican, just like you with Hillary Clinton, it's like you had no choice or whatever because you wasn't gonna vote for them. It's like they had no choice to vote for Trump because they wasn't gonna vote for Hillary. So, but they at the same time they were like, it's something to feel like is more shit important than just riding with Trump. They'll say, yeah, the election was rigged and all that shit, but they not willing to risk fucking up America for that.
Let me rebut that and tell you why I don't necessarily disagree, but let me tell you why I say take caution. Because also at the same time or whatever, right? You had motherfuckers. Okay, at the same time, polling, right? Everybody keeps saying polling off. Polls don't work. The polls weren't off both times in the national elections. Now, state by state, they were off. But Hillary poll was on point nationally. They had a +3. And Joe Biden looked like he about to win +5, +4, which is right along the lines. Okay, here's what the issue is for me. Why I don't trust that. Maggots, banana Republicans, they lie. And what I mean by that, they know the Trump shit wrong. They know Trumpism is wrong. But they also know that it gets them culturally shunned. So when you look at the polls, when the polls came out, when a pollster who don't matter, it's just a person doing their job. When they call you and say, "Hey, who you voting for?" or whatever. Trump people, at first I didn't believe this. I literally didn't believe this all the way up until this election or whatever, right? At first I didn't believe this. But Trump people literally, he does have a hidden Trump vote. So my thing is, if you allow to keep your shit secret because you know it's wrong, then at what point do you stop? What's the word I'm looking for? At what point do I start believing what they saying?
What has been?
Tell me that thought.
Tell me some of the. I know a couple, but tell me some of the successful coups that happened to democracy.
Cuba's the most big one.
Because my argument when it be coming to the coups is that the reason that Cuba was the biggest one, but it's like Fidel Castro had like
Chavez
and Chavez. They had the people on their side, like majority. It was like a minuscule number of motherfuckers that were like, I don't know if I should do this. I might ride with the government. But for the most part, the whole fucking country was with them. Like in America, when you have 50 million that's with it, and then you have these other millions that ain't, it's a clash that happens.
See,
you got Nancy Pelosi. That's why I say we gotta
figure this shit out. Because
they could try some shit.
We gotta figure this shit out. Because again, 50 million is like what I'm considering the hardcore. However, Trump got 73 million people vote for him, and I don't know how many people agree with Trump that just don't vote. It's people that fuck with Trump, but they like, oh, I don't vote though. So it's like,
but I don't know. Gonna be about
it. But you're right. For a coup to stand,
this is why I don't know why you don't watch The Handmaid's Tale. Because
I seen it, and I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, damn, cuz said this can happen. I said no, and now this is exactly what's happening.
Let me explain The Handmaid's Tale to the listeners real quick. What happens is the birth rate went down dramatically or whatever, which is actually going down in real life for
white people.
For white people. And it got to so low where wasn't that many people having babies. It was chaos with everything in the country, just like it is that with Trump and motherfucker, and the religious right or whatever got in power or whatever, and they got enough people on their side to basically make it a coup. And took over fucking America. Now it ain't America no more. It's Gilead, and you got these pieces, and America is still a country, but it's like parts of Canada and shit. Yeah. So I could see it happening, but it would take some drastic shit, because for Trump and his supporters to steal the election, that would be the end of America as we know it, and that would be something else. That would be Handmaid's Tale, because like you said, I agree with that. You said I ain't living under a dictatorship. What's going to happen is because California didn't vote for Trump, it's going to be all these states and all these motherfuckers. If Trump is elected, it's going to be the end of America, which I don't necessarily disagree.
I agree with that.
I don't necessarily disagree with. I mean, if you want communism and socialism, I mean, the answer is to blow this shit up.
Did you read now? The reason why I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought about that the other day, because we had a disagreement when I started watching the show, And I said, man, it's too much. It's a good show, but I was like, it's too much. It's too unbelievable.
It's heavy
right?
on your heart, but
And then I was like, damn, it's kind of believable now, right? So I didn't go back and start back watching it yet because I ain't got Hulu, but I did start reading the book. I don't know if you read the book.
The book is even more in detail and shit.
On how shit happened and stuff.
The book is good.
And that's why I say this coup is possible.
Yeah.
This coup is possible. Okay? Because, for example, and me and Tank, we in the South. So I look at Brian Kemp. So as we're recording, this is Friday night. As we're recording this, Brian Kemp came out today and certified the election, the popular vote election in the state, or the election as a whole in the state of Georgia, which usually these election certifications go down like this without any fanfare. But because of how this election in particular is going or whatever, then, you know, we having issues. So Brian Kemp came out and he said, yeah, I'm certifying the election or whatever. He was like, but all the improprieties is inexcusable and blah, 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 blah. Basically, Jack and Trump on his way out the door, right?
They can't do nothing about it in Georgia because they done hand counted that shit.
Yeah. Well, they can't do nothing about it anywhere because they're going to hand count it. That's why Trump today invited Michigan legislators to the White House to try to convince them to switch their electoral votes. So hear me out.
I'm gonna do that suicide.
So hear me. That's why that is political suicide. But is it? So we live in the South. DeSantis ain't gonna stop Trump from annexing Florida. Kemp ain't gonna stop him from getting Georgia, even though Georgia was blue. And you go through all the southern states. So I'm not saying that it's gonna be, and then the middle states too. North Dakota, South Dakota, all the Midwest states. So you would have, like you said, America would be the Northeast and the West Coast. And they would try to figure out what's going on. Here's the reason why I think the coup can't happen as a whole. Or whatever. I don't think the military like Trump, bruh.
They don't.
So
well, the military and when they be talking about the intelligence agencies,
yeah,
they don't like them either. Because,
and you can't do a coup without them.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny. So, you know, we know niggas that voted for Bush. Right? Yeah. Because they was in the military, right?
They don't say he voted for him. I don't know if
I don't believe that shit.
I don't believe
that shit. However, I know our cousin, damn, what's that nigga name? Quentin. That bitch ass nigga. Yeah. I know Quentin voted for him. Or whatever. So here's my thing. But that's because Republicans was traditionally pro-military, right? Mm-hmm. Now, it ain't really like that. I know a bunch of military people. I don't know one single military vet or active duty that actually fuck with Trump.
Yeah.
So I think that actually is what killed him this time around. I think he might have got the military vote the first time.
Well, it's some military motherfuckers that fuck with him because they like the funding or whatever because they're like you getting fun. But see, that's such
a bad argument.
This be my beef.
That's why I hate liberals.
This be my beef when these military niggas say about funding and shit because it's military niggas that I've heard talk about this shit who was high ranking military, but it'd be like at the end of the year, even though you don't use a lot of shit, you
throw it out.
You just start spending shit on frivolous stuff.
If you don't use it,
you have to justify why you getting this much money or whatever. So it's a hustle,
right?
Y'all niggas get enough money for everything we need to do.
And like I always say on this show with my socialist ass, the military gonna get their money regardless. So I'm not like, if you're a military person and you voting because you like the funding or whatever, your raises gonna come regardless of whatever. Military money, guaranteed money. And you're always gonna have 40, 50, 60% of the budget.
You know how I feel about the military. I don't think we need as many troops over there to do what we need to do anyway. That's why I like Trump pulling troops from Afghanistan. We don't need that many niggas over there in order to keep. We need a presence over there. I ain't saying just disappear, but the amount of resources and shit that we is wasting in the Middle East, all that shit could be pulled back. Obama should have just put his foot down and did the shit or whatever. But you know, see, this is the problem.
Obama's an olive branch person.
Yeah, see, this is a problem with the generals in that shit or whatever because they are the ones who want that big military budget and the military industrial complex is a real thing or whatever. It is money in war. It's reasons the Pentagon is reasons why they have all this shit over there. Like, we don't need that much shit. Do you think we need all this shit over there? What's your opinion?
I am a progressive socialist, so I want to, just like I want to defund the police, I want to defund the military. So
that would mean a drawback.
I don't want none of that shit over there. However,
I do think I'm not naive. We need to be over there, goddamn. We need.
Well, that's what I say. Yeah. However, I do have an issue.
That's why we fuck with Israel.
One of the things I hate the most about Trump is his foreign policy. I think he has.
You like the drawback of the troops in Afghanistan? Look.
I don't like it.
Why you don't like that?
The only reason I don't like it,
Jesus
I would give him credit
Christ.
and like it any other circumstance. I don't think in a lame duck session that's the best thing to do.
Oh, that's politics.
But politics matter in this though.
I know.
It's not like
But,
I want them troops to come home. I agree. I'm not
I don't
saying
even
that.
care about that. I'm just
want
talking
them to
about
come
the
home.
benefit that we have.
I want them to come home. I want the troops to be pulled back. I don't think we need as heavy a military presence over there. I do think the endless war is frivolous. I think it's a frivolous war. However, like at the same time, we do have when you talk about politics. Okay, we said this earlier. The Constitution is the greatest thing white people ever came up with. America's gonna exist after Donald Trump. It existed before Donald Trump. Okay, so regardless of his really shitty coup, it's a really shitty coup, by the way. It's Meg from Family Guy levels of stuff drawn up.
I never disagree that it an attempt at a coup. I just highly believe.
Oh, it's not going to happen. My thing is, but regardless if the coup is a good coup or a bad coup, it's an attempt at the coup, which is goes back to what we were saying.
Drop my ball, swing my dick.
It's an attempt to dismantle democracy. However,
Trump is so bad. Well, see, Trump is so bad for America, but the thing is, he is such a reflection of America.
But see, this is the thing. This is the no. He's a reflection of the core of white America.
Well, white America is America,
but they're not America.
Because
here's the thing:
when we had Obama, I'm gonna say it real quick. When we had Obama or whatever, that was a facade of what America could be or whatever. But that's not what America was.
I think that's what America is. Hear me out. I've been thinking about this. Now, would you just hear me out? Because I agree with what I've agreed with what you were saying on that.
Yeah, please explain this to me.
Over a year now.
Change my thinking.
Hear me out. Okay.
What that cracker say? Change my mind.
Change my mind. Fuck that cracker too. You ever watch his videos?
I heard him on Joe Rogan shit. He been over there
he is
one
such
time
a piece of shit.
or
He
whatever.
a prick, man.
Hey, but hey.
Right wing people is pricks. I want to get into like a white right wing person, but like, and just so I can hear their opinions and shit. But they all they stances and like,
I kind of like him though.
They so.
The one Ben Shapiro is fucking aggravating though.
He talk too fast.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something.
That make him seem smart, but nigga,
I don't like Ben Shapiro. I don't like Ben Shapiro.
But Chowder, I don't really say I like him, but
I don't like Caitlyn Bennett. I don't like Chowder.
I can drink with Chowder.
I don't like none of them.
I'm not going to want to drink with Don Lemon. Okay, I don't want to drink.
I have a drink with Don Lemon.
Fuck
you know what's funny? I feel like
give me Chowder.
Out of all them dudes on the right,
who the one you like?
Ooh, I hate to say this. I'm gonna say Rush.
I have a drink with Rush.
Rush, and then my man Herman Cain dead.
First of all, I would have a drink with Trump because I think Trump is a horrible fucking president. But before he was president, he was the party nigga.
I would say
he the party nigga.
I would say pre-president, I would have had a drink with Trump.
Pre-Obama,
post-president,
because he started wilding with
Obama. Post political, okay, pre-political.
I can't drink with him now.
Pre-political Trump, I would have had a drink with him, but only because I didn't know who he was. Post-political Trump, that's who that nigga is, bro. He ain't never been a good person. Fuck that nigga, bro.
Well,
but
not. What were you saying?
We were talking about. I was saying that is a reflection of America. Let me tell you. Yeah. So when you take take the presidency, right? The Senate and Congress, all the elected officials in the government, right? And you add all it up. The Democrats, I'm talking about add all their votes up. How many people voted for them? Not how many people voted. Like, I'm just saying, how many votes did you get? So you went to Congress, you won your district. It's only 250 votes. Throw that in the pot and whatever you are, right? So if you do the Democrats and the Republicans, there's almost 17, but I think it's like 16. It's 16 million more people voted for the Democrats than the Republicans. Now, that's not to say that the Republican seats aren't legit. They are for where they are from in the country. But what I'm saying is, this is a red mirage. We're being fooled into thinking that this thought process and way, like, and especially for us, we in the South, so we in a bubble. But like, this thought process of this how America is. America always been racist and da-da-da. Yes, America has always been racist, but it ain't like this in Seattle, man. I'm not saying racism, pockets of racism don't exist. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, the progressive shit, the progressive thoughts, that shit is more abundant than what we deal with. Because in the South, it's ass backwards. Mississippi got the lowest GDP, Alabama right behind it.
I don't know how this shit works because California and New York are ran by Democrats, but it's so much disparities and fucked up shit that happened in New York. It's so much shit that happened in LA. It's so much racist.
But that's not a fair comparison because.
But those are the states that are ran by Democrats.
It's not a fair comparison to me because, like, for example, the last really bad police killing was in Philly with Walter, what's his name, or whatever, right?
Well, I mean, the last one they got media coverage.
Right. So that's Philly, and Philly is in PA, and it's Philly's ran by Democrats. PA's not ran by Democrats, but Philly's ran by Democrats. Like, okay, two things. Number one, this whole, like, for example, let's take New York. New York's a really good example. Philly's also a good example, but I'll use New York. New York City is its own entity into itself. You feel me? Like, the rest of New York State, that's all red. That's all red. So when you vote for state legislators, just like here in Florida, the legislators from Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Tallahassee, all Democrats. All the other legislators in the 64 counties or whatever, Republicans. So then what happens? We get Republican shit passed and whatever, and it's like, oh, well, you know, it looked like this, it looked like that. But when you go to a place like New York or whatever, number one, I always have to remember bad shit happen when you get a bunch of people together, regardless of political standing. It's more people in New York than it is in most states. New York City have more people than most states. You know what I'm saying? It's like South Dakota's like, oh, well, shit like that don't happen in South Dakota. Well, number one,
ain't nobody in that motherfucker.
Ain't nobody there, and your demographic is all white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Less than 1% of your population is African American. So, of course, we're not going to hear about no racial shit because just rare you even run into a nigga. Meanwhile, New York is damn the world. So, a lot of that is.
I just think in every spot, in every major city in America, whether it's Democratic run or Republican ran, the abuse by the police, the sentencing and the crime, the home mortgage loans given out, the business loans given out, everything is always more to the side of white people than black people.
Well, that shows that we have a systemic issue.
That's why I said
it ain't got nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans.
No. Exactly. That's why I was saying when I see Trump, like racism is as much of American culture as American pie and baseball. You got baseball, you got American pie, and you got racism. Because as long as we live under the rule of these racist motherfuckers in all of these counties, and it be the ones. See, we got the redneck racists, and then you have the liberal racists or whatever. Yeah, I can't stand neither one of them motherfuckers. God damn it.
Liberal racists.
Like the bitch Amy Coney Barry. No, she's not liberal or whatever.
She's a conservative,
or whatever, but she adopt black baby.
She's a very
like
good
example
of a liberal racist because she would say, "Oh, I have black kids,
yeah,
so I can't be racist."
You know what I'm saying? Like I think they look at niggas like a goddamn animal.
Again, though,
shit.
I would say this though. I agree with all that shit now, but I would say, however,
I forgot my whole fucking point.
However, for the most part, I don't think that way people live at, I don't think that they're the majority of people. Like, for example, Donald Trump got 73 million votes. That's a lot of votes. That's a lot of votes. Second most in history.
Next to Biden.
Next to Biden, and with the 79, about
everybody
80
was
million.
not. Yeah. This the shit we had to do to overcome this racist motherfucker.
Yeah.
Boy, if all
We had to
these
pull niggas out the dirt.
If all them niggas ain't go, and I ain't even vote for neither one of them.
When
I was
Gucci
like, fuck 'em.
said, go dig your bro up, he was telling them because it's time to vote again in Georgia.
Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams. First of all, I'm gaining more respect for Stacey Abrams.
I got it all back.
Right.
I respect the hell out of her.
Yeah, so
100%.
Yeah, so
what she did in Georgia is okay.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of political
all right, you
junkies.
biscuit eating bitch.
Yeah,
I'm on your side.
I know there's a lot of political junkies that listen to bro. Listen, what Stacey Abrams did in Georgia is politically improbable. Yeah. Like the flip Georgia blue. That's politically
especially
improbable.
for fucking Joe Biden,
and
that's what I'm looking at. Go whatever, because to do that shit, to flip it,
Joe Biden is the best. Let me tell you something. I thought about this. Trump pulled 73 million maggots, banana Republicans, out his ass. You hear me? 73 million. Y'all think about that. Just put it in perspective. Last time, I believe he had 62 million.
Clinton had like 65.
65. Yeah, so and she won by like 2.8, almost 3 million votes. So yeah. So he literally found 11 million more people to vote for him. Okay? Y'all hear me out. I was just talking to somebody about this at work. Joe Biden is the best nominee. Like, see, the only thing, this is gonna be a very complex thing I'm about to say right now. Joe Biden is the best nominee the Democrats could have picked in this election to win the election. He is the only nominee that could have won the election.
I think Kamala would have won.
I don't think Kamala could have won it because I think it's too much. It's too much of that
anti-Hillary
woman. It's too much anti-Hillary. It's too much anti-black.
But she
woman.
is the opposite of Hillary. Or
but it's anti-black women.
I don't
These
know
racists.
No, I think it's anti-white women.
You just said liberal racists. These liberal racists ain't voting for no black.
I think
black
white
woman.
bitches envy. White bitches envy our black.
Now you're talking about racist progressive
or whatever. Okay,
yeah.
I think when they want to touch their hair,
or whatever. That's a racist progressive. You're talking about Rachel Dawson.
Yeah, they want to go get tans.
Yeah,
they would never say I'm envious of that bitch. But the slave master wife, she'll see that black bitch. She know her husband fucking them and just be like, what this bitch got, I ain't got.
But see, if you look at a female, a woman progressive like Chris, my neighbor, right? Chris is gonna vote for Kamala.
Oh yeah.
Because she, like you said, it's that white guilt, whatever type shit going on. A white liberal woman, a white liberal Antifa, a white liberal woman is not voting for Kamala, and I know that because they didn't vote for Hillary. They're not going to do it. And then none of the right side of the spectrum is going to vote for Kamala at all. So then we can keep going through the gauntlet. Bernie,
I don't know. I think the fact that she got a white husband, I think they like that.
Bernie with the police. Bernie with the socialist thing. She could use
the police.
Bernie with the socialist thing would have got killed amongst Latinos too much because I think because at least Joe convinced a few Latinos and a few people that he's not, a few scared white people that he's not a socialist. But Bernie wouldn't be able to do it because Bernie be like, I'm a goddamn socialist.
I think Bernie would. You
gotta break up the banks.
I think Bernie is a movement like Trump.
I think Bernie is a figure that is a movement, but I don't think Bernie. I would love for Bernie to be the president. I don't think it's possible.
I think if the Democrats or whatever would have got behind him because they hate Bernie. They do not want this nigga to be
because
the nominee.
he's not establishment.
No, he's not established. Just like the Republicans didn't want Trump, but they're like, this nigga's a force. We're gonna deal with him, whatever. But if the Democrats would have got behind, I think if they would have got behind Bernie at first, I don't think Trump would have fucking won. Because that shit was a fucking last time. Yeah, the first time that shit was a movement.
Here's the thing: it's similar. Like I'm glad you brought that up. This is why Joe won the nomination, and this is why Joe is the best president for the Democrats for them to have won or whatever. And it's gonna be hard to get Kamala or any AOC or anybody else as president because of the following, what I'm about to say. I do agree with you that Bernie would have beat Trump first time around. I agree with that because that was back when Trump was ridiculous. He would have beat him. However, Republicans let the shit slide and they was like, okay, we know this nigga not establishment. Because remember, at first, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, all the establishment Republicans was like, if this dude get elected, we gonna fuck up everything on so many different levels.
I knew them bitches was gonna fold.
And then they folded.
The only one that surprised me that folded was Chris Christie or whatever. I was surprised when he folded. He's from New Jersey.
And now he back on the other side again.
Yeah. Out of all of them, I thought Chris Christie
he know him.
I thought Chris Christie would have been like, fuck this nigga.
Yeah, but he know. But
you a bitch, Christie.
But that again, Republicans are fascists. Like, we need to start calling their party, like they like to call Democrats socialists or communists. Yeah, Republicans are fascists, my dog. But they warned of his anti-establishmentness and what it would do. And here's where we are. Now he has lost. He has hijacked their party. I would say at least, and this might be a low estimate number, at least a quarter, which is a lot, at least a quarter of their voters have left and will never vote for a Republican again because of how the Republicans handled this MAGA shit. And at least half of their voters either A, did not vote, B, voted third party, or C, voted for Joe Biden and the Democrats this time.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's the end of the Republican Party because
but the Republican Party as they knew it.
See, as they knew it, yeah.
See, here's the problem. Trump gone now, right? Yeah, he's still going to be around or whatever, but Trump's gone. But he's not gone. He still got the MAGA people there.
Nigga, Don Jr. coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don Jr.
But guess what? If you look at Congress and the Senate, it's all these regular ass Republicans there, and that's not gonna work no more. So now you have to be a crazy fat neo-fascist, or you're a Democrat. There is no in between. Because look at John Kasich. John Kasich was a regular George Bush Republican, just like Lindsey Graham was, and Ted Cruz, and all of the other Republicans was. And then the ones that cucked out for Trump, now they're MAGAs, which means they're fascists. And John Kasich said from beginning, I'm not down with that fascist shit. I'm not doing it. And he didn't. And guess what John Kasich is now? He says, I'm still a proud Republican. No, you ain't. You voted for Joe Biden. You're a Democrat. Joe Biden is a moderate Democrat. So now all the moderate Republicans are going to come over here. So now, yeah, the Republican Party itself by name might not disappear. But what the Republican Party represents, conservatism and all that's gone, bro.
Well, my thing is, I don't want a moderate Democrat.
I don't either.
Or whatever.
But again, this goes back to what we talked about last time. Was I'm an inclusionist.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to get anything done under a socialist progressive platform. It's just not happening. That's why I say Bernie's he's registered independent. He ran as an independent. However, I think
a lot of shit would have got done. We would have had Bernie.
I think he would have got elected, and it would have saved us from the brink of fascism that we are on right now. Right. However, I don't think Bernie would have got shit done.
We need more.
Remember, if Bernie would have got elected, he would have came in with a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate. He wouldn't have got shit done.
We need more. It's shit that you could do or whatever.
Mitch McConnell ain't working with nobody.
No, it's shit you can do.
That's why I hope they flip them seats in Georgia because Mitch McConnell ain't working with nobody.
This is what happens when you don't work with nobody. You get more executive orders, and it only could go so far. But it's certain things you can do.
True. The only thing I say about the executive orders, I don't like them because they're reversible.
They're reversible. But you could get. I forgot what
you said. You know what we need?
Yes, you know what we need? More direct ballot initiatives. God damn it! And
true democracy,
right? With the weed shit, or with the raised minimum wage. Don't put all these bills and all. Just say, hey, do you want this?
You want something interesting? I do believe in a representative government, so I'm cool with the republic. However, I do feel the same way you do. We need more ballot initiative programs.
Yeah, direct ballot initiatives.
And I think on 90% of the shit, we can get that shit done. We can get that done on a ballot initiative. I think if it's anything to do with funding or budget, then that should go to the legislators. But if it's like, should we be decriminalized? Should private prisons be legal? All that should be ballot initiatives.
Hell yeah.
All that should be ballot initiatives. Should we have Medicare for all? All that should be ballot initiatives. or whatever. The lawyers can write up a amendment to the Constitution or whatever to put on the ballot for us to do, but you can't have federal ballot initiatives.
This is what have a vote. Should we have Medicare for all? Yes. Now we're not.
It's gonna pass.
You're
easy.
not going to get Medicare for all immediately, but shit has to because shit
It'll
has
pass
to be drawn
immediately,
up.
though.
And,
It'll
and
pass
shit.
immediately.
God damn it.
If you put
I think Medicare for
all,
all is. I think that's too different. That's too complicated to put on the direct ballot initiative.
well, federal ballot initiatives
you got to write
don't
a,
exist.
Yeah, I'm for to say. Yeah, I'm for to say. But if you did, you have to write
write it up.
Some
Yeah,
shit for that. But making weed decriminalizing
that's
drugs,
easy.
Hey,
I don't want to point out that all the Democrats are shitting on the progressives, us progressives, because they're saying that us saying defund the police and socialism killed the campaign. It was 99 people that actually said they're either, nobody said they was a socialist, but 99 people ran on social platforms and defund the police. 98 won. So the problem with the Democrats is messaging. Democrats suck at messaging. They're not good at messaging. They're not good at, because one thing that Republicans are good at, they're good at messaging and feelings. They make them cracker feel like, oh, that dude over there is your enemy, and I'm going to go to Washington to fight for you. Mm-hmm. They good at that. Democrats don't do that, because the difference between Democrats and Republicans is back in the day, Republicans had to chill a little bit more because they had a lot of people under their tent. They had the racists, they had the conservatives, they had the libertarians used to be Republican before that was a big party or whatever. And they had a lot of people under their tent to where they was like, okay, well, we're going to do this for them. We're going to dog whistle here. We're going to do that, whatever. Now, ain't nothing but two types of people that's Republican. MAGA, racist, neo-cult people, and conservatives. That's it. So they don't care no more. They just going to appeal to the MAGA, and they know the conservatives like, well, I don't agree with that, but I'm still going to vote Republican. I damn sure don't want that Democrat shit. So they go by that. Democrats, on the other hand, we got so many people under our tent, we don't know what to do. We got niggas under the tent like Tank, who is damn near libertarian and also don't give a fuck about gay rights and all that other stuff, but he'll vote positive gay rights, but he want to say faggot, and then at the same time, we got to have the gays with us too, the LGBT with us too, and defend them, and then we got to have the blacks and not offend them. We trying to do too much to not offend nobody that we're not getting our message out. Our message should be, we're going to go to Washington, we're going to pass initiatives that help you and your family. We're like Medicare for all, like free school, like we're gonna social programs.
In England, the college is treated just like grammar school. You leave,
it should be.
You leave high school and then you go to college, and all this shit is paid by the state. You know, I'm all for capitalism or whatever, but my thing is, you can't. It has to be a balance of socialism in there. It has to be or whatever. Like
which is the kind of capitalism I'll allow. I am for a neo-socialist government. I really like. People say, "Oh, you a communist?" Yes,
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm communist. I'm a communist minus the dictatorness.
I'm
if
not.
You take out the dictatorship, it's perfect.
No, I'm not, because whatever. I don't like to take out the competition and the drive in people. Like equality,
I disagree with
like
that.
equality of outcome. Like if both of us do a job or whatever, we both get paid the same or whatever, right? That's communism. You do the job, you get paid. Well, it don't work like that, because I may do this or whatever and have a different drive than you doing shit.
I don't give a fuck what your drive is. Number one.
See,
number two.
Let me tell you this. That's my problem with it.
Let me tell you this. The only
advancement.
When you're talking about advancement, thought, free thinking, the only true free form of government is communism. Let me tell you why. Because
that makes no sense.
Because we were just talking about my daughter earlier before the show. She want to be a doctor or whatever. Okay, under real communism, not this dictatorship shit. She want to be a doctor? She just go be a doctor. Period.
What?
And she have the freedom of that, the freedom to mobilize. And then when you have
and she's a better doctor than most, then what is her incentive? Nothing.
It don't need no incentive. The fact that people think you need incentives
that's
to
human,
drive
that's
people.
Human.
No, wait. The fact that you
human
think,
shit,
wait,
though.
the fact that you, but here's the thing.
Like any mechanic, if every mechanic, you can go to any mechanic or whatever, but it'd be a mechanic that knows more than what you.
But we're eliminating.
Give me more.
We're
because I know
eliminating
more.
bullshit.
I shouldn't get paid if I'm a doctor. I should not get paid what this doctor get paid, and I'm better than him. No,
yes, you should, and let me tell you why.
Geez.
Here's the point.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the point.
You
Here's the
got
point.
me.
Here's damn right.
You lost me.
Here's the point. You get freedom of expression in communism and socialistic governments, and the reason why, for example, we're eliminating one big thing that nobody wants to bring up because they don't want you to like communism. Number one, the biggest thing we're eliminating right now. I work at a fucking stone company, tile and stone company, and I'm a purchaser. Okay, I make good money doing this shit, but I'm a purchaser. That is not my goal. That is not what I want to be. That's not what I want to do, but I do it because it's a high-paying job in this capitalistic market that gives me an opportunity to make success for my daughter. However, if we were in a communistic system, I don't have to work there. So now,
what's making you work there now?
So
you don't have to work there
hold
now.
Hold on. Here's my thing. If I work at this place I work at now, and I'm a purchaser, and I work better and do better than the next purchaser, you're correct. I should get paid more because I'm working harder. That works in capitalism. However, if I'm working at this place and and I chose to be there, I'm happy to be there. If I wouldn't be there because I don't in a communistic socialistic society, I don't have to be there. I can just go pick another job that I want to do.
No, but why? Because it makes more money?
No, because the obstacles preventing you from doing it are less.
Well, no, I'm saying, what if you're in communism, you're doing what you want to do, but you're doing it better than everybody else? You feel like there's no
so
competition.
what?
It's like this: if every basketball player in the NBA, so LeBron James should get paid the same thing as the other starter on that. That's communism. Is that communism?
Again, you're going with that's first of all.
I'm going with performance.
First of all, that's not communism, by the way.
You should get paid for your performance.
People have different wages in communism. The illusion that one doctor don't make the same, or LeBron because for example.
Not a communist nation. When the communist,
hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Russia, the USSR, before they were Russia, the USSR and Eastern Germany has always had soccer teams and sports and all that, and athletes get paid different based on their rate.
Well, that's different.
Doctors, the best doctors inside of USSR got paid more than the other doctors. That's not what communism is about. Communism, they try to equate. See what they try to do? They try to scare you into thinking, oh well, they took your jobs. It's the same thing. It's like, oh well, they're not going to reward you for being excellent. No, that's not true.
You shouldn't get rewarded for doing nothing.
But so now that's you're
into equality of outcome.
No,
I don't
now
believe
you're
in.
into because this is my thing. There's no reason for a community to exist if we're not going to pool the community. So and you got to remember, this is all opinion. Because how a government should be, some people think capitalism is the way. Some people think this is the way. Some people think other things are the way. Whatever.
We've seen how everything else works. And the only thing that works, communism never worked.
Capitalism don't work.
Socialism never worked.
Nothing works.
No, capitalism has been working. We're not seeing capitalism
and
fall
the only reason,
in America.
The only reason you say
until it falls, then I say capitalism don't work.
We have never
said it don't work. You can't say it don't work.
Capitalism don't work, and I can say it don't work because
it's working now.
Right now, no, it's not. No,
why it's not.
For example, let me give you something. That's it.
Why is it
so
not
they saying, it's the lowest unemployment rate of all time. It's a good economy. That's bullshit. First of all, it's equity of jobs. Number one. So
you know how our poor people is compared to a communist country.
I get all that, but hold on.
Our poor people compared to a communist poor people is a whole different level.
Wait a minute.
It's a whole different level.
Wait a minute.
Have you ever seen a person in poor people in a communist country?
Well, first of all, number one.
Better go sell that dirt.
Number one. First of all, there's never been a true communist country in the world. Number one, based on Marxism. Okay, the communist countries that are here that have existed in the world are dictatorships. And once you get into a dictatorship,
talking about?
their poorness is going to be amplified because they're not going to lead to opportunity. They're not going to give you freedom of expression. See, that's another
So
thing.
it's never been this kind of government that you're talking about.
It doesn't. No, because nobody wants to do it.
So what are you talking about then?
Because it would work. It would work in America, or if a socialist country,
something that's never worked before.
A country that leans. Well, that's what capitalism didn't exist, and then somebody tried it.
It's working, baby.
So, but
explain this.
A country that leans socialist, if they tried it, it would work. Like so, for example, but the word has been tainted because of what the Lenins and the Stalins and the Castros did to the word communism. So now, instead of looking at it rationally for what it really is, everybody just shuns it and we shun away from it. But if you take a socialist country like Denmark and you amplify the socialism, then yeah, it'll be a communist nation. But remember, the freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and all that, the limited freedom of speech and all that other stuff, that's not inherent to communism. That don't have nothing to do with communism, actually. That's got something to do with dictatorship shit. So when you talk about what communism truly is, the reason why it's calm in it is because it's community. What it means is we don't let anybody get left behind, period.
And see, that's what I fuck with, because it's not on my responsibility.
But we already
it's on
doing
you.
that.
And
Yes,
because we're capitalists and we know how cutthroat this shit and how nature is. Capitalism.
That's not why they doing it.
That's
not why they doing it, because they didn't do that for 200 years.
This is my thing. This is why I fuck with capitalism, because it's like a humanistic.
It failed.
No, let me tell you why
Go
I
ahead.
fuck with
And I'm
capitalism.
rebut, then we
the
gonna get
reason
out.
why I fuck with capitalism is because it's a humanistic, societal version of real nature or whatever. Real nature is kill to be killed, predator to prey.
That's true.
We are animals, so this is like the sophisticated, conscious version of that or whatever. I'm not obligated to help anybody. The rights that I have are just me being here on this earth. When you talk about healthcare as a right, that means somebody else has to do something for me or whatever. And nobody is obligated to do anything for you, but I am for this. Why I say a mix.
Well, number one, I would say this. You're right about the laws of nature and all this nature being dog eat dog. That's true. However, I don't think that's the laws of humans. As I said earlier in the beginning of the show, we literally have people in space.
My nigga done went hotel.
There's literally people in space.
My nigga done went hotel.
I'm not saying humans aren't animals. What I'm saying is we can't say, it's two lions out there fighting, so we need to fight. We have people in space. Lions don't have people in space. They just don't. So you can't, I can't do that. Number two, capitalism has failed. Period. Let me show you when it failed.
When did it fail?
The Great Depression proves that capitalism failed. The only reason capitalism still exists at this point is because of the Great New Deal by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who wanted to make more socialism, and I would argue is a socialist president, but because our anti-communist shit at the time and anti-socialist because of the Nazis thing at the time, people shunned it and shut the Great New Deal down more than it should have been. But we literally went into the Great Depression because capitalism is so greedy and so evil.
Well, that's why I say you need some socialism in it.
But then therefore capitalism doesn't work at all. Democratic socialism works. But capitalism doesn't work at all.
Well, no, that wasn't my argument or whatever. My argument is
you just want to have a form of capitalism in there.
Because
I say
my argument is with no capitalism, the shit don't work.
Nip it in the bud.
And even if you have how do you become a major power in the world?
It's got to do with
okay. Denmark not no fucking power.
This like what we saying
we'll
about
kill them niggas.
This like what? Well, England was a socialist place with no capitalism, and they made it.
When?
Great Britain was the greatest nation in the world.
Yeah, white people. That was going taking over shit. God damn it! But that was imperialism. God damn it! It was going running shit.
So here go my thing before we get out of here.
That was a monarchy.
Here go my thing before we get out of here. When you talk about capitalism in general, though, or whatever, like there's there's no such thing as absolute capitalism, because we learned through the Great Depression,
niggas are gonna die,
and the market crash, and not just our market crash. That was a global market crash because everybody had, after America established capitalism, everybody started doing capitalism.
Absolute capitalism is niggas gonna be running in niggas' houses.
Yes, absolute capitalism
chaos.
equals death. So we know that absolute capitalism is not viable. It's not possible. So when I say, well, tone that shit down or whatever, then everybody be like, oh, you can't take away capitalism. You know, I'm fucking communist and blah, blah, blah. Okay. What aspect?
How do we make it sound good? Democratic socialist.
That's what everybody
really,
say.
That's
to make
really
it,
what we need.
That's what everybody want to say.
These fucking rednecks.
I'm just not afraid of words. That's the thing. That
Me
these
neither.
rednecks are afraid of words.
Yeah.
Because you said socialist. You said communist.
I mean,
they don't even know what communism and socialism is.
Because we're democratic socialists, not right now, just not as much as we need to be.
Right. And that's my point. Like, what aspect of capitalism that you feel like has the state? The only thing
free
that
market.
the free market. See, I'm cool with a free market. I just want to put regulations on it.
How much regulation? Because this goes back to
Depends.
you.
I have to
This
assess
goes
it.
back to that thing when you read the Constitution and you was like, you can have bullets or whatever, you just can't have these. Because when you start nipping that shit, then it's like,
Yeah, but I'm not. My thing.
what
is-
regulations we doing? What we doing?
is,
What these regulations is?
But
nigga?
you know, regulations have
Trying
to
to be slick, nigga.
specific per the industry. But I'm just saying, you gotta have regulations.
Environmental regulations and the human health, human worker.
Remember, people gotta remember now. Like, nothing was regulated up until the market crash. You can have a monopoly. You can do. You can like you can do whatever you wanted. And it crashed the market. And then we put regulations, and then ever since then, Republicans have been saying roll back regulations. Which don't make sense. It's like saying bring back the Depression. And what's funny, and we're gonna get out of here, but what's funny is like when you look at Republicans versus Democrats in office. Now, this don't have nothing to do with the social aspects of the party flipping. This is the political policy aspects of the party, which have been the same since forever or whatever, right? Democrats have the same policies as they always had, and Republicans have the same policies they've always had. So when these Republicans come in office and they say, let me roll back my regulations and stuff like that, they do it every time. And what happened every time a Republican get in office? The market fucking crash.
Yeah,
the economy crashed.
First they make a lot of money.
Yeah, and then it crashed. Because you can't roll back regulations. And then when a Democrat come in, they bring back the regulations and add more regulations. The whole economy go through the roof.
Or in the aspect of,
if people wasn't so fucking hateful and bigoted and self-minded, and we would have been all right. Let me tell you why.
If we have more good people, then the world will be better.
Let me tell you why.
Same Michael Jackson now.
Obama, regardless of his prowess as a freedom fighter or not, as far as like fixing the economy from Bush and then stacking on top of that, he had it rolling. If we get Hillary in office when she ran, we rolling right now. We would be for the first time in history.
I could debate this, but this would be a whole nother show.
It would, but hold on. I'm just talking about policies now. I'm just saying policies now. We would be for the first time ever. We've never had this. 12 years into. Actually, we have.
Clinton did have shit rolling. Didn't they have a surplus?
But again, listen to what I'm saying though. For the first time ever, we would be 12 years in. Yeah, Clinton did have a budget surplus. But for the first time ever, we would be 12 years into the democratic regulation system that prospers the economy. We've never had that. Besides one time, FDR. Yeah. When he he saved the country. Literally saved the country.
What's your favorite president?
I don't know if he's my favorite president, but I think when it comes to policies and shit,
your nigga.
And what he did, FDR is up there as far as like just. You got to look at what he was dealing with. He had the World War going on, the Depression, okay, and then people was trying to say he trying to be a dictator, which he wasn't a dictator. He just was. The people liked him. He kept.
Why the hotel say the first president was a nigga? And then even if he was a nigga, why y'all celebrate him? If it was a nigga the first president, he had to be a cool nigga.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you talking about?
That
First
makes
of all,
no sense.
The first president was George Washington. They're talking about the president of the Congress or whatever. But the president of the Congress at that time or whatever was not a nigga. And no, he wasn't even a mulatto like it's been alleged. He was a white man or whatever. But they alleged that he was black because he had browner skin than some of the other white people.
Even their whole logic though, I'm like, bruh, if he was president, then
why do hotels like America?
What kind of nigga was this?
Yeah. Why would hotels like America? And why are y'all counting the president of the Congress as the president of the United States when you know there's two different things? One person was serving over the Continental Congress, which was pre-America. America ain't even exist.
They had the Articles of Confederation.
They had Articles of the Confederation,
right?
But America didn't exist. Yeah. The Confederation is literally the togetherness of these states. So each colony was an individual colony. They were their own nation. So whatever. Anywho, Bruh Listen podcast episode number 100 and something. Whatever. Brittany is in quarantine, so yeah, whatever. Y'all wear masks, man. COVID is spiking, and I want to start doing normal shit again, and y'all won't wear no masks.
They wilding in Atlanta. Niggas like, fuck that COVID shit,
that shit
nigga.
Stupid, boy.
Hey,
if you in Atlanta, y'all niggas go vote. That's what y'all niggas do. Come on, final thought.
Final thought. A lot of shit been going on in Jacksonville and Duval. We got Jit just got shot up by the police 35 times or whatever. I'm gonna be looking into the case. You gotta hit Ron PVO. You supposed to be in the streets, nigga. I know you is, so I'm gonna see what the fuck you got going on about this. God damn it, because you hear about it in the other cities, but then when it happened here, I expect for the ground troops to be ready. Got another case with a chick named Diamond. The police busting the door. She shot one of the crackers, and they trying to charge her with and a boyfriend who ain't even shoot nobody with murder of a cop and marijuana. So they busting there for fucking marijuana. They doing drug busts in Duval for marijuana. What the fuck going on? It was just depressing news. Oh, Gucci Mane and Jeezy. Hey, boy, for the culture. That got my spirits up because I was fucked up, but that shit for the culture got me right. Do better, niggas.
I was the guy who got shot in Jacksonville. I saw the tape. I'm not gonna say that I think he should have got shot 35 times.
I don't know what happened.
However,
he was doing some shit.
I think the police was justified.
All right, well, fuck it.
I don't think he was doing some shit, but I don't think he was doing what he was supposed to.
Okay. Fuck it. I don't know, bro.
I mean, nobody knows, but I mean, the video's out there. They released body cam this morning, and I seen it. I was like,
okay.
I was like,
well,
do I like what happened?
Rest in peace, little nigga.
Yeah, do I like what happened? Of course not. But can I say that these police need to go to jail for it? No, I can't say that. Not with a real conscience. As far as niggas on the street, y'all niggas don't do shit. Because Jacksonville is like niggas getting blasted. I don't want to hear no nigga.
Murder rate going up. What?
I don't want to hear no nigga out here talking about they're activists and shit no more. Cause y'all suck. Every last one of y'all. Because it ain't working. And they take this and take that. I just want to point out, niggas get shit done in other cities. I'm not saying every other city perfect.
It's a hard job.
It is a hard job.
It's activists in Chicago. What the fuck you gonna do? It's a war zone.
Well, Chicago got other problems that we don't have here.
Philly and Baltimore.
This place should be easy.
Really should.
Compared to the other places. If Nip can get Compton, then what we talking about? Nip got Compton straight. Nip by itself, just on some humbug shit.
Need some niggas with money.
Oh my god, yeah, because that's all niggas care about. My final thought is, a coup is a coup. Is a coup? Okay, so regardless if the coup is a good attempt at a coup or a bad attempt at a coup, it's still a nigga attempting a coup. Now, some of y'all niggas, because I have been told in the past, a lot of y'all niggas don't understand what we be saying or give a fuck about what we be saying. So I know you probably not even listening at this point because this was on some smart nigga shit the whole show. Yeah. However, or whatever, y'all niggas should care about a coup, bro. Because one thing about a coup to the government, I know how niggas operate. Y'all niggas ain't gonna leave Birmingham to flee to Philadelphia when the coup happened so that you can be safe. Because the South decided to go with the new MAGA nation or whatever. Y'all niggas gonna be right down here like, damn, bro, what happened, bro? Damn, bro. So y'all niggas should care about a coup. If you don't know what a coup d'etat is, go look up what a coup d'etat is. The Haitians did a coup d'etat. That's a successful coup d'etat.
If I could go back in time, the ending point, it'll be either 1850, wow, revving up to the Civil War, or Haiti. God damn it, because that's where you want to be at.
Bro, listen, 365, 24/9, we grind, we give you a nigga for your mind. Who you got?
I ain't got a nigga, I got an amendment, the 9th Amendment.
Ooh, why the 9th Amendment, cuz?
Because it's the 9th Amendment says that if you read it, it says even because we don't specify your right in this Constitution doesn't mean that it's not your right. Or whatever. I just listened to a
constitutional
NPR
law is insane.
Shit, yeah.
I wish I had the patience to go to law school. I don't. Because there's a lot of shit that go into that.
Yeah, it is.
My person is Dred Scott. Look up the Dred Scott decision and how they said that your bitch ass wasn't a person. And then remember that if a coup d'etat occurs, that 6 of the Supreme Court and 3 of the Supreme Court right now appointees are pro-Trump. Dred Scott. All right, nigga. Y'all check us out. Y'all make sure y'all go listen to the special episode we had with Seven declaring his atheist and stuff, even though he wasn't.
Yeah, he puts it out. And listen to No Static Podcast. I listened to that shit last week. It was kind of entertaining.
You listen this week?
Yeah.
It's a good show. Y'all listen to all the Hater Bear Media podcasts. I think the only people that's actually doing content right now is this show. Flag on the Play, the #1 Jaguar podcast in Jacksonville. I'm proud of that. And
it's not something that's hard to do, but I'm proud of you.
and No Static Podcast and the others, Southern Tea and all those others, you can listen to those too. All right, all power to the people. Peace.
You a hater, hater bear.